What's the difference between Prescott and Prescott Valley? Well, considering the fact that Prescott Valley's town center and Prescott's courthouse plaza are just 8 miles apart, you might think that the two towns would have quite a bit in common, but think again. In this video, I'll take a look at some of the things that set the two apart. So if you're considering a move to the area, stay with me because it might just help you decide where to focus your home search. And if you find some useful information in this video, be sure to like and subscribe and drop a comment below. Now, let's get started. There is no question that Prescott, Arizona is an historic town. Prescott was founded in 1864 at the behest of President Abraham Lincoln, who wanted to ensure that the Union would benefit from the area's mineral wealth. After all, it was gold and silver that brought miners and settlers to the area. Prior to statehood, Prescott served as the capital of the Arizona Territory, and the first governor's mansion still stands on its original site in downtown Prescott. Prescott was also home to the U.S. Army post at Fort Whipple. In 1931, the land and structures that were once known as the Fort Whipple Barracks were transferred to the Veterans Administration, and the former fort now serves as Prescott's VA hospital. Now, it's important to note that though Prescott's modern-day history began in the 1860s, there was a significant Native American population in the Prescott area for centuries. Today, members of the Yavapai Prescott tribe occupy a reservation consisting of 1,400 acres adjacent to the city of Prescott. When it comes to Prescott Valley's history, although the land had been settled by ranchers in the 1880s, and by the way, it was originally known as Lonesome Valley, it was not officially incorporated until quite recently, 1978. So when you compare the two from an historical perspective, as a town with a notable place in not only Arizona's history, but the history of the United States, then Prescott clearly wins out. But if you'd prefer a newer town with a younger, vibrant population, a forward-looking attitude, and an eye toward expansion and modernization, then Prescott Valley is definitely worth a look. In area, Prescott is actually slightly larger, covering 45.21 square miles compared to Prescott Valley at 40.47 square miles. However, when it comes to the number of residents, Prescott Valley edges ahead with a projected 2023 population of 50,687. That's just a bit more than Prescott's 48,946. Prescott Valley, however, still has a great deal of undeveloped land and is growing population-wise at a faster rate than Prescott. With the exception of the Williamson Valley corridor to the north, Prescott is largely built out, with less available space for future development, either commercial or residential. But as it stands today, in both population and physical area, Prescott Valley and Prescott are very similar. One of the obvious differences between Prescott and Prescott Valley, or PV as it is often called, is the topography. It's easy to understand why the early settlers of Prescott Valley were ranchers, as the majority of the land there is flat, open, treeless prairie, where, by the way, the antelopes still roam. Prescott, on the other hand, has an extremely varied topography. Nestled snugly between mountain ranges, downtown's Courthouse Plaza sits at 5,319 feet in elevation. That not only places it approximately 300 feet above Prescott Valley, but gives Prescott its mile-high nickname. But it doesn't stop there. Some home sites in the surrounding foothills can reach 6,000 feet and above. The variation in Prescott's elevation also brings with it contrasts in the natural setting and the terrain. The southern areas of Prescott are known for their ponderosa pine forests. In some areas to the north and west, the pines give way to scrub oak, manzanita, prickly pear, and alligator juniper. And here's an interesting fact. Prescott boasts what may be the largest and oldest alligator juniper in the entire world, a massive tree that some estimate to be 2,000 years old. Prescott is also notable for its geological landmarks, Thumb Butte, Granite Mountain, and the dramatic and much photographed Granite Dells, a section of exposed bedrock and weathered boulders that serves as a backdrop for Watson and Willow Lakes. So, though there are some exceptions, if you're looking for broad expanses of prairie land, then you should definitely consider Prescott Valley. But if it's a home in the foothills surrounded by majestic pines or granite boulders, then Prescott's diverse neighborhoods might have just what you're looking for. Speaking of lakes, Prescott is home to 5 of them, although technically 4 of them are man-made reservoirs, all within a 10-mile radius of downtown. Watson and Willow Lakes in the Granite Dells, Goldwater Lake in the Pines to the south, the very popular Lynx Lake in the Bradshaw Mountains to the southeast, and Granite Basin Lake, a true lake, at the foot of Granite Mountain. Though swimming is not permitted, the lakes are perfect for kayaking, canoeing, fishing, picnicking, camping, mountain biking, and hiking. Prescott Valley comes in a distant second in regard to the number of bodies of water within the city limits, but it is home to one small lake very close to downtown, Fane Lake, a 3-acre reservoir on Lynx Creek that is the centerpiece of 100-acre Fane Park. The lake is stocked for fishing, though a license is required, as it is for all area lakes. The park is beautifully maintained, and it provides access to picnic areas and hiking trails. Bottom line, though Prescott does come out ahead in the numbers game, the area's lakes are easily accessible, and residents of both towns can enjoy them fully. Many people come to Prescott not only to experience its history, but with the dream of living in a vintage home. And when it comes to historic neighborhoods, Prescott has a distinct advantage over Prescott Valley. In the late 1800s, as the wealth of Prescott's original inhabitants increased, so did their taste for the most beautiful architecture of the period. Perhaps the best known of Prescott's vintage residences stand along Mount Vernon Avenue, just a few blocks east of Courthouse Plaza. Here you'll find not only Queen Anne-style Victorian homes, but also Georgian, Regency, East Lake, Craftsman, and classic bungalow, in many cases lovingly restored and carefully preserved. You might, however, find 2 things that are rather disappointing about Prescott's beautiful vintage homes. 1, they appear on the market infrequently, and 2, when they do, they definitely command a premium. Though Mount Vernon may be the best known, you will find vintage homes in a number of neighborhoods close to town. Prescott lays claim to 65 properties and districts on the National Register of Historic Places, and many of those are homes. On the other hand, if you find yourself attracted to modern architecture, some of the newer planned communities like Jasper in Prescott Valley might have what you're looking for. The best thing about Prescott and Prescott Valley is that there really is something here to fit everyone's tastes. The differing characters of Prescott and Prescott Valley certainly do impact the dining scene. To begin with, Prescott presents a bit of a dichotomy. Older residents on one hand patronizing their local favorites, and a tourist-driven economy on the other demanding contemporary cuisine and constant innovation. Thankfully, Prescott restaurateurs have been able to strike a balance. As a former cruise director who has had the privilege of dining at great restaurants around the world, I'm pleased to say that there are indeed fine dining options available in Prescott. And something new is always in the works thanks to our talented local chefs. In keeping with the town's historic character, you will not find national fast food chains along the streets surrounding Courthouse Plaza, thank goodness. But what you will find are unique eateries, cafes, brew pubs, and bistros, locally owned and operated. Now, in Prescott Valley, the median age is approximately 12 years younger than it is in Prescott, and that impacts dining habits and options as well. In PV, you'll tend to find many more recognizable national chains, fast food venues, and family dining. You'll also notice that there are some popular local favorites like Rose's Italian and Colt Grill that have opened locations in both Prescott and Prescott Valley. Now, keep in mind that many of Prescott's restaurants are relatively small and are difficult to get into because they're very popular, so reservations are highly recommended no matter the day of the week. Also, locals are in the habit of dining early, and there are extremely few, if any, restaurants that keep late hours. Add to that the fact that a number of local eateries close on Sunday and Monday, so again, plan ahead and call for reservations. When it comes to entertainment options, there are distinct differences between Prescott and Prescott Valley. First, Prescott Valley has gone all in, creating a modern entertainment district in the downtown area. The Findlay Toyota Center, basically the district's anchor, is the only multi-purpose venue of its kind in the Quad Cities, seating over 5,000 people and hosting sporting events, concerts, and monster truck rallies. Adjacent to the arena is the new Main Street Theater, opened in 2022, which is the performance venue for the Prescott Valley Performing Arts and Children's Theater. The town center area also features a number of popular restaurants and Harkins 14, a modern multiplex movie theater. There is plenty of parking. The area is clean and well lit and is the perfect place to spend an evening out on the town. Now, entertainment in Prescott, well, it's a bit more traditional. First, live music is a Prescott staple, and there is hardly an evening when you won't find talented musicians entertaining in one or more of the saloons along or in the vicinity of Whiskey Row. The beautifully restored and historic Elks Theater, also known as the Elks Opera House, offers a variety of entertainment, frequently hosting comedy acts and tribute bands. Prescott Center for the Arts is just 2 blocks from the courthouse and produces a full season of amateur community theater. Major theatrical productions, concerts, and ballets are staged at the 1,000-seat Performing Arts Center at Yavapai College. The Prescott Fairgrounds host a number of carnivals and cowboy competitions throughout the year and is the site of July's famous Frontier Days, held annually since 1888 and billed as the world's oldest rodeo. So there you have it, some of the differences that set Prescott and Prescott Valley apart. Though there is a clear contrast, there is something both towns share, and that is accessibility. You can easily enjoy the amenities of either town, regardless of where you live or where you choose to settle. My name is Ered Matthew. I'm a real estate agent with the Pareja Group at Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate, Bloomtree Realty, on the corner of Gurley and Cortez, right across the street from Prescott's Courthouse Plaza. If you enjoyed this video and found something of value, hit the like button for me and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to tap the little bell if you'd like to be notified when I post more Prescott-related content. Please feel free to leave a comment, and if you'd like my personal restaurant recommendations, and believe me, I have some of those, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.